Hi guys, and thank you very much for buying a wreath kit from Flowers by Maddie and me. I've usually got an audience of 33 ladies around me, so I think I might be struggling into the camera, but oops, no, there's a cat and a pigeon. Anyway, here we go, let's give it a go. First of all, I'm going to show you how to attach the wire to the wreath frame. The compressor's the back, the moss is the front. Take your reel wire, poke it through, stitch it through your frame, bring the end up and give it a right good twist like that till it's nice and secure. I'm working on plastic because it's quite messy. Now I'm going to show you how to cut up your greenery. You've got a nice bag of greenery with compressor, holly and ivy in it. Your picks or your bunches want to be about 6 inches long. I find it easier if you cut a few bits up before you start. I haven't got a waste bin, I'll just chuck it on the floor for now. So just cut a few bits up. I've got gloves on because the holly's quite prickly, and it's alright if you're only making one, but we'll be making quite a few through the Christmas period, which you'll also be able to buy if you want another one for somewhere. Right, so we're cutting up some greenery. We're going to make small bunches of about 6 inches long. If it's not right good, put it to the back because 80% of the foliage isn't going to be seen anyway. That's a little bit long, we'll just cut that down. So you're making a nice little bunch with your greenery. Make it interesting. A little bit of ivy. A little bit long now. I've made a nice pick bunch, and the first piece is going to go under your wire, and your stems want to be about 1/3 of the way on the frame under the wire against the moss because it'll keep drinking. The foliage wants to look out of the centre. I'll show you in a minute when I've just pulled one round. Now the wire is all that's keeping the foliage on the frame. So you want to be pulling it nice and tight, about a finger apart, and go round it again. That's all you need, twice. But I can't stress enough, you pull it nice and taut, slowly and gently. Don't yank it because it might break. So I'll just show you the back so you can see how the foliage is coming away from the frame. And that's the front. You think it's not going to be very good, but you imagine when you've worked your way round, it's going to be quite a big wreath. So then, out of your cut greenery, you make up another pick. As I say, nice bits to the front. If they're looking a bit rough, put them to the back. Normally I've got an assistant at the side of me doing bits for me, but she's filming, so I've got to do it all on my own. Right, so another pick. This one's laying over the stems of the first one, all flowing the same way. So I'm laying it on, holding it down nice and firm, stems against the moss, over nice and taut without yanking it. If you pull it, it might snap. I'll show you what to do about that later on. Nice and firm, about a finger apart, twice. So already it's starting to take shape. So I'll keep going with this one. I've got some others prepared under here to show you what to do when we get a bit further. So try not to waste your greenery. There shouldn't really be much in your put back bag. Let's have a little bit more of this holly. This hasn't got any prickles on, so that's quite nice to use. A bit more ivy in it. Oh, and please feel free when you've done your wreath to pop them on Hannah's page, Flowers by Maddie and me, because the best bit of doing the workshops is seeing people going home with the wreaths that they've done, and obviously we're not going to get that this time. So please feel free to pop them on the page. Right, a little bit more. I think you're getting the idea. I hope you are. Another one, a bit more holly. Right, we'll pop another one on there, and then I'll move on to the ones that I've got a bit further on. So again, it should all keep sweeping the same way, and it should all be looking out nice and firm. So I'm just going to show you the back again, so you can see it's all flowing that way and it's coming bigger than the frame. So you keep going like that till you get to this stage. So I would say I'm probably over halfway around there. Keep checking a few bits, making sure you've done it nice and tight. So we'll just put a couple more on there. Thought it'd be nice to do it outdoors, seeing as it was a nice day. Got nice surroundings at the back of us. Don't know if you want to pan round and show them. Right, so we'll just add another one to this one. That's getting a little bit big. I'm going to prune that down. So again, don't butt it up too much to the one you're going on, because you'll just run out of greenery. Try and keep them nice and even. Twice round, nice and firm. Right, at this point I'm going to show you what to do just in case you snap your wire. So I'm going to cut this off. So on the wire frame, you just stitch it through a few times and make it nice and secure. We don't get many people do that, but it's when you yank it, you must do it nice, slowly and firmly. That's all that's keeping your greenery on the frame. And then you take the end again, do what you did in the beginning, about where your wire was on the last one. Pull it through and give it a twist, and then just carry on as you have been doing. Right, so that's the next stage, and then finally, when you've got all the way round, there is a knack to getting the last one on. I might even be able to fit two in there, let's see. Because you want it nice and full. Yeah, I think I'll pop two in there. So I'm going to do the stems a little bit shorter as I get nearer the end. Nice and taut, don't forget, pull it nice and firm. Keep your thumb on it, feed it through. Now to do your last one, I like to pick the first pick up and keep it out the way while I slide the next one in. Let's have a look, I seem to be running out of greenery. Let's make a quick pick out of this. Stems a bit shorter. So you're holding your first one out the way, poking that in as far as you absolutely can, and then wrapping the wire round it. Nice and taut. Maybe do that last one 3 times instead of 2. Pop that back down, flick it over, and like I showed you, if you'd snapped your wire, pop it through there, and stitch it over the copper frame. At least 3 times I think should suffice. And then just so you don't hurt your fingers on it, Make sure it's poked away so you don't catch your fingers on it. And that's the finished product. When you get it on your door at home, maybe if there's bits not quite in a circle, just prune them off. So that's the finished wreath. Hi, so we thought we'd try and do a bird's eye view recap. Hannah's going to climb up the steps and hopefully, without falling, film it from up top. So I'm near the end and I just want to reiterate to you about where to position your picks. So this one's laying over that one, looking out, fastening it on nice and firm without going too close to the one before, because if you keep putting them on too close to your previous pick, you'll just run out of greenery. So I'm just going to make one more and show you again how to get that last piece in. It's a little bit rough, but I'm pushing because Hannah's up the steps. So you lift that one out of the way, you get it in there, keeping that out of the way, nice and firm, without yanking, just pull it nice and taut. Go around that last one 3 times. Put your first one back down over it, flick it over, cut it off and stitch it through the frame. It's difficult with gloves on, I should have took them off really, but 3 times, stitch it through, pull it nice and tight, and then poke the end away into the greenery so you don't hurt your fingers. The other thing at this stage, before you put your decorations on, if you want to give it a good drink, I suggest you put it on a plastic bag, give it a good water and leave it to have a drink if you wish to. So now we're on to trimming up our wreath with all the things we've provided and pre-wired for you. I always look for the weakest point to put the bow. This is the bit where you can decorate it how you like. Some people like the bows there, some people offset it. This is your choice. I'm just going to show you how we always do ours. You poke the wire right through the frame, you spin it round and you pop it through the wire frame and through again, over and away. Is that close enough, Anne? So it's come through over again and pushed into the frame so you don't hurt your fingers, and that'll secure your bow. I'll try and work upside down. So I'm going to take all the bits out. I say they've all been pre-wired for you. Make it easy. I'll just pop that back in there for now, make it don't blow away. So then you have a look where you want to pop your other bits. So seeing as you've got 3 berries, I like to put one opposite the bow. Poke it through. And I'll put a little star there with it as well. There's always a knack to getting them through. If you struggle, I always say just wrap it round the frame and poke it back through, but you can usually find a little way through. Now I've lost that. No, right, so I'm going to do so I'm going to go through the frame, wrap it round first and secure it, and then weave it through the greenery to where I want it, next to that berry. And I'm going to fasten that down too. That's looking rather nice. And then position your cones. Before you fasten them off, just make sure you've got them all in the right position. Another one there. I'm going to do it quite even and symmetrical. them looking out rather than like, you know, don't put them too obvious, do them at a little angle. Have a star there. And another berry. That's come through. So as I say, I'm doing this one quite symmetrical. You can group them, you can put them in pairs, you can put all your decoration down there if you want. It's entirely up to you, this bit. The star. And then what I tend to do is once I've got them all in the right place, it's easy to move them at this stage if you're not happy. Let's have that, yeah, put that in there. And then I flick it over, find all your bits of wire through the frame and away, so you don't hurt your fingers, and you do that with everything that you've wired on so they don't blow off in the wind. If they're a bit short, as long as they go over the frame at least once. If they're too long, you can always do it and cut it off. And it's always best when you turn it round to make sure you've got everything. Just give them all a little pull, which I'll show you in a minute. I think I've got them all, the last one. So just give them all a little test, make sure you found them all. Yep. And then the last thing to show you is with a piece of your wire, if you want to use the hanger that we've provided, find the middle of the hanger like that, make a loop with your wire, and behind your bow or wherever you want it hanging from, find a space, pop that through, pop the loop or the middle through there, pull it through, and then put your two ends through the loop and pull it tight like that. Hey presto, that's your finished wreath. Enjoy.